Thank you. I've talked to a number of company representatives, and I did my best to classify or make a classification of their concerns. And one important factor, their most important concern regarding what's currently happening in the market is the currency risks. A machinery building company, a modern machine building company, is not a tough structure, a rigid structure. It's not just a vertically integrated company. This is a complicated network of suppliers, and on the one hand, we receive advantages from the ruble's devaluation, but on the other hand, we have a lot of currency risks because there are foreign supplies. In this context, the development of national supplies as one of the current priorities suggested by the government and the Ministry of Industry will require a lot of time. This process is beginning, but it will require a lot of time. And we need to look at foreign suppliers who are ready to gain a foothold on the Russian market. The next point, which might seem to be not so important, but we can see this problem on the example of big Russian corporations, particularly state corporations. That's the transformation of the existing business model. The helicopters of Russia are carrying out such a reform, and I think that the shipbuilding industry will move in the same direction. The car industry has achieved a lot of progress today, and of course this transformation is going to result in a lot of serious social risks. And of course the government has mentioned and discussed the necessary compensations for those who will suffer from the change in their production model. And in my opinion, this task, this decision helped transform Russian machine building companies. I would like to mention another problem which is particularly important and which has already been mentioned here. While the situation with the engineering personnel is not so bad today, there is a huge problem with the manufacturing personnel. We already have proper infrastructure here, but of course it's all a matter of personnel, and we will require considerable effort to update our educational programs, to bring them in line with the current manufacturing practices. We had one example in Kaluga when the Soviet-era technical school was modernized, and now it has become a really modern and state-of-the-art educational institution. So, as you probably already heard from the minister's announcement, that an agency for personnel development has been established or is going to be established in the Far East. So this is a unique project. This is a special agency which will be focused on the Far East. There's another issue, that of logistics. Logistics remains a problem, of course. You've mentioned that transport costs limit the opportunities for investors today, but I also have to say that we recently had a discussion with our Chinese partners that while on the Russian side there was pessimism and there were concerns that we are not going to be able to develop our manufacturing and we will just export raw materials. But strange as it might seem, our Chinese partners talk about the need for equipment, machinery, machine tools, which exist in Russia, and these are important costs. The transport component is not big in China. Of course, that's a problem for some mass-scale products, and equipment is not so sensitive to transportation costs, but logistics is going to play a crucial role when making an important decision, because we need to make sure that there is transport accessibility, which is an important factor for machinery development in Russia's Far East. The next point is the technological breakthrough, which we have discussed a lot, but which is not happening yet. Today we had a representative from Flandria who is a world champion for attracting investment, which is why he was invited here to share experience, and he said a very important point. 3 years ago they created a special agency focusing on the technological breakthrough in the industry, and today they are rated first as a territory which really transformed local companies and helped them explore new technologies such as 3D printing, robotization, and a major center has been created in Belgium. So this is a reality today. And for many companies, maybe not so much for the car industry, but to a great extent for the aviation sector, the use of those new technologies is really crucial, and this industry transformation can really result in a huge change in the business model. I'm not going into detail, but I think that this is a paramount factor, and now that we have some delay in those changes, but we really will have to do this.